والسلام على رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أما بعد. Before we continue the class today, I'd like to tell all the young people about something, and then the elders too will benefit from it. What I want to tell all the young people is, don't copy the voice of a reciter of the Quran. It's an innovation. Don't read Quran like Shaykh Mahmoud Khalil Al-Hussein. Don't read Quran like him. In terms of wanting to copy his voice, taqlidu sawt al-qari. The ulama say bid'ah. Taqlidu sawt al-qari, bid'ah. Copying the voice of a reciter of Quran is a bid'ah. There are many qurra'u we love. I personally love Shaykh Mahmoud Khalil Al-Hussein so much. When I was in the university, I used to read Quran like him. His voice complete up to youth service. If I read Quran, you think it's Husari that's reading it. I deliberately have to unlearn that, my copying and imitating his voice. When we read Tasheeh al-Dua by Shaykh Bakr ibn Abdullah Abu Zayd, and he even has a book, he has a risala on this matter, that it's an innovation for a Muslim to be copying the voice of a Qari. So don't read like Shaykh Mahmoud Khalil. We have been like that before. Drop it. It's a bid'ah. It's wrong. Likewise, don't seek to read with the voice of Al-Minshawi. It's wrong. Al-Matrud. All these people were Qur'an. We used to learn how to read like them. Abdul Basit, Abdul Samad. They are elders amongst those who were reading to cassettes. We used to read with their voice. Huzaifi. Imam al-Huzaifi is still one of the A'immah of Haram al-Madani. I don't think he has been removed. He's still alive. Go. His son too is leading in the masjid. And now look at it. His son is not copying the voice of the father. The son of Shaykh al-Huzaifi is one of the A'immah in Masjid al-Nabawi. He is not copying the voice of his father. So why should I copy the voice of the father? The son is not copying the voice of his father. Just from this angle. So why should I, all the way from, where am I from? Huh? Ijebu, Moshe, or Lanta. I will now be copying the voice of, when the son is not copying his own voice. So don't copy the voice of anybody. Read with your own voice. That is what the Quran, the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam. He said we should make the tazyeen of our qira'ah. When you make qira'ah of Quran, with your voice, beautify it. So you'll understand that it is ala qadar al-istita', upon your personal ability. Allah, this is my voice. This is the sweetest thing in my voice. Because if you are copying somebody else, there is no more ibadah. If you are copying another person's voice, تَتَشَبَّهُ بِمَا لَمْ تُؤْتَ, you are presenting something that is not your own, as if it is your own. And the Prophet called that Zur alayhi salam. So don't copy anybody's voice. Read with your voice. Beautify your reading with your own voice. Try to be sure that your voice is sweet. So somebody asks you, which voice? I say, that's my voice. I try to recite. There is one of the A'immah of Masjid al-Haram in Makkah. He is the one who usually leads in the last 10 days of Ramadan. He usually leads Salatul Fajr. One old Baba like this, he has a bad eye. Hafizahullah. I'm just describing him. He's tall, slim. Very old. I've seen him eye to eye. We've met many times. He'll be coming out, I'm going in. We met many times. Many years ago. I wouldn't remember his name. He leads Salatul Fajr. He doesn't have any voice. He will say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. And he's Imam in Masjid al-Haram in Makkah. But the issue is that's his own voice. Oh, that's his voice. The voice is not sweet. Let me come down like this. Yet, he has his rewards. Why? That is his own ability. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ كَيْفَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. So that's his own. That's what Allah will ask him about. The whole world is listening to him like that. And he's the one in the last 10 to 15 years, I don't know this year or 1445, who led Salatul Eid al-Fitr, I don't know. But in the last 10 years, he's the one leading Eid al-Fitr. With that same voice. In fact, when he is reading the khutbah, if you don't listen very well, you don't hear what he's saying. He has a funny voice like this. Hafizahullah. We are just saying that is how Allah has created him. That is his voice. There is no takalluf inside. وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُتَكَلِّفِينَ. Allah didn't tell you put on top your neck what is not your ability. So all of you, whenever you read Quran with your voice. Your own voice is unique. It's different from my own. Don't copy. They say, you are reading like Jabir. You are reading like, don't do it. That's correct. It's not good at all. We love this Quran. This Quran, we like them. But we will not imitate their voice. If it were lawful to imitate a person's voice, the companions would have imitated the voice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is your hujjah now, I'm telling you. If someone tells you, imitate my voice, say, I won't imitate. Say, why do you not imitate my voice? Tell him. If it were lawful, you would have heard that one companion is reading the Quran with the voice of the Prophet Muhammad. Or do you think they can copy his voice? They can copy his voice. But it's not lawful for them to do so, so they were not doing it, and they did not transfer it. They would have been reading with the voice of the Prophet, but it's not lawful. Read with your own voice, your own, while following, making mura'at of ahkam al-tajweed. With your voice. Ahkam al-tajweed with your own voice. Now you can look at a qari and see how he pronounces some huruf in some circumstances. You know, tajweed is إعطاء الحروف حقها من ماذا صفة لها ومستحقها. This is the meaning of tajweed. إعطاء الحروف حقها. You give every harf its right when you are reading it. You can now be watching. How did Minshawi do this? How did Hisari do this? How did this one? You can learn that one. But the voice, leave it to each of them. The voice of Matrud, leave it to Matrud. Read your own voice. The questioning of Allah to you, and He is asking you to read the Quran, is upon your own voice. If it were lawful that a person's voice and way of reading the Quran could have been copied, the companions would have copied the voice of the Prophet Muhammad. When we were in Abuja in 2002, 2003, we had one Imam. Exactly the way today is reading Quran. That's the way he reads Quran. Exactly. And we had one Mu'adhin. Exactly the way they call the Iqamah in Haram, that is the way you will call the Iqamah. So you'll be hearing people say, we are feeling as if we are in Haram. The unfortunate thing is that you are not in Haram. Sorry. So everybody should call the Adhan according to his own voice. You should read Quran according to your own voice. But while following the ahkam of tajweed. That one is general for everybody. You can observe how one qari follows the rulings and follow it like that. But to say, Lagaja, he can read like Sudais, he can read like From the A'immah of Haram, the one that I like most, if I tell you, you'll be surprised, but it's no more from the A'immah now. Shaykh Shuraif. Wallahi, I like him so much. If you pray Qiyamul Layl behind him, wallahi, you will enjoy that Qiyamul Layl. Especially if he's reading from Surah Al-An'am. This one has happened to me many times. If you pray behind today's Shuraim when he's reading An'am, la hawla wala. Go and look for any of his recordings when he's reading An'am. And you know, I always say An'am is a surah of Tawheed. From beginning of An'am to the end of An'am is Tawheed. 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 وَالرَّدْ عَلَى الْمُشْرِكِينَ وَالشِّرْكِ. An'am, beginning to the end, Tawheed. So the point here is, all of us, when we read the Quran, we should read the Quran with our voice while following the ahkam of tajweed. That the scholars say that when we read with the voice of people, it is an innovation. Ma kullifna bidhalik. We've not been asked by Allah to do that. And if it were sunnah, the companions would have been copying the voice of the Prophet Muhammad. I hope that that point is clear. And a bigger problem in our time is, especially those people who are used to Quranic competitions, they use it. You hear one, he starts with one voice, they change the voice, they change the voice. All the voices is changing to, no one is his own. All now copy. It changes from Imshawi to Jabir to Qusari to this. It's not from our religion. Let's not play with the Quran. إن هذا القرآن يهدي بالتي هي أقوى ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا. This is what the Quran is about. It's not about it's common, all those people going to Quranic competitions. You know what I mean. When they are reading, they change from one. Don't joke with the Quran. Qira'atul Quran ibadah. So why should you joke with that ibadah? May Allah forgive all of us. I hope that we all understand this. Our book we are reading is Al-Farq Bayna An-Naseehah wa At-Tibyān. The difference between how can we know our own voice. That one that you used to speak now, that's your voice. One young person is asking, how can we know your own voice? That's your voice. Your voice is your voice. That one that when you spoke, the voice came out, the sound came out with. That one, that's your voice. Because one thing about voice and how sonorous it could be is that when it is your own, you know. You are the one that will be manipulating the beauty by yourself. But when it is another person's own, when you want to manipulate the voice, you'll be thinking about that person. I don't know whether we have that. I have done it before. Me. I used to read Hudayfi a lot and Husari. I went to Quranic competition too before. When I was young, I competed in Juzu Amma. You heard this one before? That competition throughout, it was Hudayfi I was reading. Throughout. But I prefer Husari. And I like him so much. My hymns of Surah Al-Isra and Surah Al-Kahf down was on Husari. I like Husari so much. But when we hear that it is not Sunnah, should we not drop it aside? Leave it aside. In fact, when I was in youth service, people like me to lead Salah. They say, let Amir lead Salah. If I'm leading Salah, everywhere will be filled up if we have a national program. Yeah, we know he will read Husari. And I really knew Husari that time. All those way he raised his voice is coming down, I know it. Till now, I still know it too. Because even till now, it still affects my voice the way I read Quran. But I always try to deliberately be sure that I'm not copying him. Otherwise, it will destroy my own ibadah. So it's something we have to handle consciously. When we listen to them, we enjoy it, but we should not copy their voice. Keep it in your mind. If there was any voice to be copied, which person's voice is to be copied? The voice of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. Mujahid ibn Rajab al-Makki, Al-Imam Ikrima al-Barbari, Sa'id ibn Jubayr, Tawus ibn Kaysan, all these people, Qatada ibn Di'am as-Sadusi, they are students of, remove Qatada, they are students of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu. Ibn Waqqas, and all of them, they were students of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. We did not hear that they copied their voice. If they had copied their voice, lanukila ilayna, it would have been reported to us. That they didn't report it means they didn't do it. And the Salaf were watching everything that their teachers were doing. Everything they were watching. Everything. Everything they watched. They took everything from their teachers. Like the companions radiyallahu anhum took everything from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Tabi'un took everything from the Sahaba. And the Atba'u Tabi'in took everything from the Tabi'in. Everything. Including the way they smiled. They will tell you, so and so person used to smile like this. So and so person used to talk like this. So and so person used to walk like this. Walking. One of the scholars, he was walking in front of me. So something just came to my mind. That this walking, the way he was walking, is the way the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was described to be walking. If you read Shama'il al-Muhammadiyya, you see there. So I asked him, come, Shaykh, hafizakumullah, this you're walking, is it like this or how? He laughed. He said, what do you notice? He said, I read the hadith in Shama'il al-Nabi when the Prophet's walking, alayhi salatu wasalam, was described. It was said that if the Prophet is walking, alayhi salatu wasalam, it is as if a person is descending a slope. How is that? When a person is walking, descending, you know how the movement will be. The upper part of his body will be pushed forward. And his movement will be swift. It will not be dear. Was why I used to blame many young people if I see them walking sluggishly. Come on, walk properly. No dear, no jagga, walk. Why? The Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, when he's walking on a flat surface, but the movement is like the movement of a person walking down a slope. How is it when you walk down a slope? Faster, then you are going to where you are going. The slope will not allow you to stay jagga on the slope. It will push you, so as if you are going down the slope. The upper part of your body will be pushed forward. And your movement will be a frontal, forward, directed movement. It will not be sluggish. So when I explained that hadith, I just gave him that hadith. He laughed. He said, they have been learning to walk like that. He thanks Allah now that somebody sees him and says, you are walking like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because if you are walking like that with the intention that you are doing it to be like the Prophet, you will get the reward. Even while walking. Only the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Walking, moving like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Is that one who be doing haram? The one who is conscious to follow the sunnah, that even the way the Prophet is walking alayhi salatu wasalam, that is the way he wants to walk. The gain you gain from that is that it will put you away from radha'il. It will put you away from shameful things. You that everything you are doing, you want to do it the way the Prophet did it, alayhi salam. You will not have time for nonsense. You will not have time for things that will bring insults to you. Because your mind is full of lofty things. Things of high standard and moral rectitude. Those are the things you want to do. Not just doing it. The reason I mentioned all that is that the companions took everything from the Prophet Muhammad. But they did not take copied the voice with which he read Quran. No, they did not. If they had done it, lanukila ilayna, as the scholars know, it would have been reported to us. So don't copy a voice. You can learn tatbiq ahkam al-tajweed from the way he made his tatbiqat. But to say your voice and his voice is the same, don't do that. May Allah protect all of us. We are reading from Al-Farq Bayna An-Naseehah wa the difference between An-Naseehah, sincere advice, and At-Tibyān. Where are your books? Open it. And At-Tibyān. The last things we discussed in the class last week, was the statement of Al-Imām Ibn Rajab on page 8 in my copy. I hope it's page 8 with us too. Most of the young people were not in class. We said that perhaps we should do a reading before we come to today's reading, inshallah. Look at it. Paragraph. He said, Rahimahullah, وَلِهَذَا لِمَاذَا? He said, أَجْمَعَ الْعُلَمَاءُ عَلَى جَوَابِ ذَلِكَ. The scholars are agreed that when a scholar makes a mistake regarding a verse of the Quran or a hadith, he can be corrected. Say, no, this is the meaning of that verse for so evidence. Oh, this is the meaning of that hadith for so evidence. He said there is no difference between this and talking about criticizing, making jafuruwatil ahadith, mentioning the faults of those who report ahadith. There is no difference between the two. When you mention the fault of a reporter, you are protecting the religion, Abi. When you mention the error of a learned person when he explains a verse, you are also protecting the deen. The two of them, they are from the aspects of what? An-Naseehah. They are not from what? At-Tibyān. So he said, أَجْمَعَ الْعُلَمَاءُ عَلَى جَوَابِ ذَلِكَ. The scholars are agreed that we have the permissibility to correct somebody who makes a mistake while explaining a verse or while explaining a hadith. He said, وَلِهَذَا, because of this consensus of the scholars that the way we should mention the faults of a reporter of hadith, the same way we should mention the mistake of a learned person when he errs regarding a verse or regarding a hadith. He said, وَلِهَذَا نَجِدُ فِي كُتُبِهِمُ الْمُصَنَّفَةِ نجد في كتبهم المصنفة في أنواع العلوم الشرعية من التفصيل وشروح الحديث والفقه واختلاف العلماء وغير ذلك ممتلئة من المناظرات. Because we know that it is allowed to correct a learned person. Maybe it's in the matters of tafsir or the sharh of a hadith, it's a matter of fiqh or things like that. We see that the books of the scholars are filled up with munazarat, conversations. This one is right, this one is not right, this one is a mistake. They always talk about it. Rahimahumullah. وَرَدِّ أَقْوَالِ مَنْ تَضَعَفَ أَقْوَالُ. And they are correcting the statement of a person whose views are weak. When a person has a weak view, they will correct him. Who are those who will correct him? Min a'immati salafi wal khalaf. The scholars in the earlier times and those who came after them. Min as-sahabati wa tabi'ina wa man ba'dahum. Those were the companions. Everybody was correcting anyone they found made a mistake. We gave a lot of examples in the last class. وَلَمْ يَتْرُكِ ذَلِكَ أَحَدٌ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ. No one left that amongst the scholars. No one from the people of knowledge say, oh no, someone made a mistake. Don't correct him, leave the mistake like that. Nobody did that. وَلَدَّعَ فِيهِ طَعْنًا عَلَى مَا رَدَّ عَلَيْهِ قَوْلَهُ. And nobody claimed that a person was refuted means that that person is mat'unun fi, that is a disgrace for him. One scholar made a mistake, the other one corrected. The one who corrected him, it does not mean that he is saying that you are a bad person, you are not good. No, he made a mistake, corrected the mistake. No one claimed that is dispraise for a person who was corrected. He made a mistake, someone else corrected him. This is common amongst our brothers in the Western world, in the UK and the US. Once a learned person makes a mistake, he was corrected. You start saying, so person was dispraised. He has been refuted. Who was not refuted? Who was not refuted apart from the Prophet Muhammad? There is no person except that he has had that. Al-Imam Malik said that مَا مِنَّا إِلَّا رَدَّ وَيُرَدُّ عَلَيْهِ. There is no one amongst the scholars except he will say somebody made a mistake. Another person too will look at him and say, Shaykh, you know, mistake. Nobody is safe from mistake. So that they now say that, you made a mistake. It is not fun. It does not mean that they are disgracing you. No, they are not disgracing you because they said you make a mistake. Why? Ordinarily, you will make a mistake. You are a human being. As long as you are a human being, you made a mistake. One of the scholars, I think, Imam Sufyan ibn Uyayna, someone was telling him that so person made a report of a hadith and he made a mistake. And Imam Sufyan ibn Uyayna said, Alaysa min al-bashar? Is he not amongst human beings? You make a mistake. That you now made a mistake and somebody corrected you. لَدَّعَ وَلَدَّعَ فِيهِ طَعْنًا عَلَى مَا رَدَّ عَلَيْهِ قَوْلَهُ. It does not mean the one whose statements was rejected. It does not mean that is torn in him. وَلَا ذَمًّا. It does not mean that is disgrace for him. وَلَا نَقْصًا. It does not mean that is demeaning for him. No. He made a mistake, they corrected him, that's all. If you look at Silsilatul Ahadith al-Sahihah by Imam Al-Albani rahimahullah, it always surprises me. He will say, in the first prints when I wrote so thing, I made a mistake. One of my students, maybe you say Shaykh Ali al-Halabi, now told me that what I wrote, I should correct it. And I corrected it. Jazawullahu khairan. If you are reading Silsilatul Sahihah, you see this one a lot. Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah, he will say, when I wrote it, I made a mistake. Ali al-Halabi told me, corrected me, and Jazawullahu khairan. So if Imam Al-Albani will say that, he will even write it down. Those before him too were like that. So it does not mean disgrace. Did Imam Al-Albani feel disgraced? The one who was correcting him, does he feel that he is disgracing him by telling him this is mistake, Shaykh? No. They say, Allahumma illa an yakuna al-musannifu mimman yufhishu fil kalam. Except when that person who is making refutation now becomes bad, indecent, in the way he was correcting the Shaykh. Shaykh, the way you now know hadith, your brain did not tell you that this one. The scholars say, "Illa an yakuna al-musannifu mimman yufhishu fil kalam wa yusi'u al-adab fil ibara." And then when he is expressing it, asa al-adab, he was ill-mannered in his expressions. فَيُنْكَرُ عَلَيْهِ فَحَاشَتُهُ وَإِسَاءَتُهُ دُونَ أَصْلِ رَدِّهِ وَمُخَالَفَتِهِ. We will now tell him that, they don't talk like that. We refute that his bad manners. يُنْكَرُ عَلَيْهِ فَحَاشَتُهُ. That his bad, indecent speech will be rejected. Say, no, don't talk like that. This one it is not out of respect. Don't talk like this. وَإِسَاءَتُهُ. His bad manners will be rejected. We will correct his bad manners. دُونَ أَصْلِ رَدِّهِ. But that basic truth that he was saying, we will not reject that one. وَمُخَالَفَتِهِ. That he is differing and saying that no, it is not like this, like we will accept it. But that is bad talk. That is bad mouth. That is ill-mannered nature. We throw that one away. We take the correct thing that he has shown to us. إِقَامَةً لِلْحُجَجِ الشَّرْعِيَّةِ, by way of helping to establish the hujjah in the religion. The proofs of the religion should be established. وَالْأَدِلَّةِ الْمُعْتَبَرَةِ, those evidences that are considerable, that are the evidences that can be used, we want to use them. So that's why we will take his rod and throw away his isa'ah. That's his bad mouth, to throw it away. But that correction, we take the correction. I've seen this one too in Silsilah to Sahih Ad-Da'ifa. You see Shaykh Al-Albani saying that so person is talking to me like this, like this, like this. So he said one truth here, but this one he said is bad. He will now be separating between good and the bad from the statements. Ikhwa, this one, it needs us to be a lot of sincere ikhlas. For you to take the truth and throw away the bad manners. This one he said it, even though the manner he said it was bad. But what he said is true. Wallahi, Quran, until you are in that position. Some people, it is because of that bad manners, they will reject the truth. What did the scholars say we should do? Yunkaru alayhi fahashatuhu, that his indecent speech will be rejected. Wa isa'atuhu, that his bad manners will be rejected. Duna asli raddihi wa mukhalafatihi, but will not reject that basic foundational correction that he is correcting us. Iqamatan lil hujaj, we take it because we want the proof to be established. Al hujaj al-shar'iyyah, the proofs, the evidence in the religion, we want it. We want the hadith, we want the verse. So we take it, but we throw his bad manners to him. وَالْأَدِلَّةِ الْمُعْتَبَرَةِ, those evidences that are the ones that should be taken, we want to take it, but we will throw his bad manners to him. وَسَبَبُ ذَلِكَ أَنَّ عُلَمَاءَ الدِّينِ كُلَّهُمْ مُجْمِعُونَ عَلَى قَصْدِ إِظْهَارِ الْحَقِّ الَّذِي بَعَثَ اللَّهُ بِهِ رَسُولَهُ. The reason why we behave like that is that Ulama'ud-Din, the scholars of the religion, kullahum mujmi'un, they are all agreed. Ala qasdi izharil haqqi, they are agreed that all of us, we must be propagating the truth. Alladhi ba'atha Allahu bihi rasulahu, that the prophet came with, that Allah raised his prophet with. All of us agree. What we should be propagating is sunnah, sunnah, sunnah. So if somebody has an opinion that contradicts the sunnah, we drop that opinion, we take the sunnah. If you are correcting him, he was bad in the way he corrected him, but the correction is true, we take the correction, we throw the bad manners to him. So we want the sunnah to be established. مجمعون كلهم مجمعون على قصد إظهار الحق الذي بعث الله به رسوله ولأن يكون الدين كله لله. We want all the deen to be the way Allah has said it, the way the Prophet came with it. That is what we want. وَأَن تَكُونَ كَلِمَتُهُ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا. We want the statements of Allah to be the manifest, higher than the statement of anybody. So we throw away that his bad manners and we take the statement that is true, that conforms with the hadith, that conforms with the sunnah, we take that one. We throw this one away. He went on, rahimahullah. He said, وَكُلُّهُمْ مُعْتَرِفُونَ بِأَنَّ الْإِحَاطَةَ بِالْعِلْمِ كُلِّهِ مِنْ غَيْرِ شُذُوذِ شَيْءٍ مِّنْهُ لَيْسَ هُوَ مَرْتَبَةَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. كُلُّهُمْ مُعْتَرِفُونَ. All the scholars have a common knowledge. بِأَنَّ الْإِحَاطَةَ بِالْعِلْمِ. They all know that completely knowing everything, knowing everything, kullihi, completely or entirely, min ghairi shuzuzi shay'in minhu, without saying something that is strange at all. You all your positions are always correct. You never make mistake. Laysa huwa martabata ahadin minhum. Nobody has that rank amongst them. All the scholars know that no scholar has everything that he has said is correct. Nobody has it. Nobody. In the last class, I was challenging us. I said, tell me one scholar. I will tell you his shudud. Anybody. Just mention anybody. I will tell you, he said this and the scholars rejected it. Any scholar, anybody, he has one thing that he has said that others are saying, no, this one is wrong. So all of them know that one. So when they know that one, that's the reason why if they now tell, Shaykh, this thing, there is one hadith, there is one ayah. They say, okay, where is it? Show me. All of these that we are saying now, we had said it in the last class. We are just revising it. So we'll come to a new lesson, connecting it to the old lessons. He says, وَكُلُّهُمْ مُعْتَرِفُونَ بِأَنَّ الْإِحَاطَةَ بِالْعِلْمِ كُلِّهِ مِنْ غَيْرِ شُذُوذِ شَيْءٍ مِنْهُ لَيْسَ هُوَ مَرْتَبَةَ أَحَدٍ مِنْهُمْ. All of them all generally know that. Completely, entirely knowing everything in knowledge. مِنْ غَيْرِ شُذُوذِ شَيْءٍ مِنْهُ. Without having some strange opinions. He does not have any strange opinion. There is nobody like that. Let me give us one example that came to my mind now. After we fasted Ramadan, what did we fast? Shawwal. Do you know Imām Malik has a view that, and it is common amongst the Malikiyah, that the 6th of Shawwal, 6th to Shawwal is not Sunnah. Malan? Do you know some scholars in Madhab al-Imam Malik, they believe that Shawwal, that 6th of Shawwal, they say it's not Sunnah. In fact, someone said that in Medina we don't know it, we don't used to fast that 6th of Shawwal amongst the early Muslims. It's a strange view. The hadith is Sahih Muslim. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu salam, man sama Ramadan summa atba'ahu sittan min Shawwal. It's clear, the hadith is Sahih, it's Sahih Muslim. Some scholars say no, bid'ah. You see now? So there is no scholar who does not have something that, but this thing is a mistake. It's a mistake. He said, rahimahullah, كلهم معترفون بأن الإحاطة بالعلم كله من غير شذوذ شيء منه ليس هو مرتبة أحد منهم. No one has a rank that he has al-ihata bil-ilm. He knows everything in knowledge. كله, completely. من غير شذوذ شيء منه. Without some strange views. No any view that is wrong. ليس مرتبة أحد منهم. It is not the status of, and nobody has that status. ولا ادعاه أحد من المتقدمين ولا من المتأخرين. Nobody amongst the early scholars claimed like that. Nobody amongst the later scholars claimed like that. فلهذا, because of this reason, كان أئمة السلف المجمع على علمهم رحمهم الله وفضلهم يقبلون الحق ممن أورده عليهم. So that is the reason why the A'immah of the early Muslims, the scholars amongst the early Muslims, al-majma'u ala ilmihim, those that all of us know that they are knowledgeable, like Malik, like Shafi, like Abu Hanifa, like Abu Thawr, like At-Tabari, like Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and so on and so forth. All these people, we all know their knowledge and their virtues. يَقْبَلُونَ الْحَقَّ مِمَّنْ أَوْرَدَهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. They take the truth from any person who brings it to them. وَإِنْ كَانَ صَغِيرًا. Even if that person may be a little young boy. وَيُوصُونَ أَصْحَابَهُمْ وَأَتْبَاعَهُم بِقَبُولِ الْحَقِّ. And all of them were encouraging and advising their students. أَصْحَابَهُمْ, their students. وَأَتْبَاعَهُمْ, and those who follow them. يَرْحَمُكَ اللَّهُ بِقَبُولِ الْحَقِّ. They tell them, take a hadith. If you see hadith, take it. If you see hadith, take it. Even if it contradicts my view, take that hadith. إِذَا ظَهَرَ فِي غَيْرِ قَوْلِهِمْ. If that hadith becomes clear, if the truth becomes clear, if correctness becomes clear in the statement of another person, drop you our own, take that one. All the scholars were saying that. He said, rahimahullah, in the next page, page 9, كما قال عمر رضي الله عنه في مهور النساء وردت المرأة بقوله تعالى وآتيتم إحداهن قنطارا فرجع عن قوله وقال أصابت امرأة ورجل أخطأ. So the way all these scholars behave is that they know too that it is possible that they say something and there is another view that is stronger than their view. They want you to take that stronger view if you find it. All the A'imma are upon that. And from the heads of the A'imma was Abu Bakr and Siddiq. From the heads of them was Umar, Uthman, Ali ibn Abi Talib, and the rest of the companions. Abdullah ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar. Each of them, if they said something, another one comes and say, no, there is another thing I heard from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that we should do like this. Like we have in the hadith of Ta'un Amwas. They were going to go into the city. One of the companions came and told them that, I heard that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that if there is Ta'un, if there is an epidemic in a city, don't go there. And if you are inside, don't come out. They changed the opinion during the time of Umar. So once someone says, this statement, but there's this hadith, like this, we will leave that opinion and take to the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The scholars always do that. So he wanted to give us an example. He says, "Kama qala Umar radiyallahu anhu." That was the same thing that happened that Umar said, radiyallahu anhu, fi muhuri nisa, regarding the mahar of women. The mahar is the gift that a man gives his wife during marriage. If you want to marry now, you are going to give a woman a mahar. Do you understand? So every person who marries gives a woman that he is marrying a gift. And Allah said regarding that وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلًا. Give women their saduqat, their suduq. You can call it like that too. Give them their mahars. So there was a case involving Umar radiyallahu anhu. People report this case in a way that there are weak reports joined with authentic reports. But let me explain the entire matter to us. It will make this entire paragraph to be clear. Umar radiyallahu anhu, Al-Imam Abu Dawud mentions this hadith in his Sunan. That one day Umar radiyallahu anhu addressed the people. What I'm saying now, this isnad is sahih. If I get to where this isnad is not sahih, I will tell us. This part that I want to say now, this isnad is sahih. Al-Imam Al-Albani graded it sahih in Irwa al-Ghalil, the 6th volume. You can go and check it. Umar radiyallahu anhu addressed the people one day and said, Allah, O people, listen. La tughalu fi saduqatin nisa. In another love he says, fi sudukin nisa. La tughalu. Don't make the mahar you want to collect regarding your daughter or your sister, don't make it high. La tughalu fi saduqatin nisa. Don't make it high. Someone wants to marry your sister or your daughter, you say, you want to marry my daughter. I remember one of our brothers, he will say, that's time. He will say, if you want to marry his daughter, this statement is around 1998. So, you know, then we are all dreaming. We are dreaming what we want to do. He will say, if you want to marry his daughter, you are just going to bring $1 million. He said, Pere. He will now say, Pere. He will say, Ustaz, came, 1 million. He said, Pere, it's that $1 million, not naira. He will now be telling us, not naira or dollars. Pere. You will now say, you want to sell her? He said, yes, I want to sell her. That's your concern. He just married one of his daughters out less than a year ago. Wallahi, I don't think the girl got to 50,000 naira. That is what knowledge and maturity will do to you. So there are many young things young people are dreaming of now. When they become more older, more knowledgeable, they will know that what we are saying, we are just dreaming. Somebody will say you collect $1 million. We will tell you, you want to sell? You can say, yes, I want to sell her. It's $1 million that I will collect. He is marrying out the girl not up to 100,000 naira. So Umar radiallahu anhu said to the people, La tughalu fi sadaqati nisa. Don't make the mahar that you request when you give your daughters out or your sisters out in marriage. Don't make it high. فَإِنَّهَا لَوْ كَانَتْ مَكْرُمَةً فِي الدُّنْيَا. Because if those high mahar, if it shows respect in this dunya, or taqwa in Allah, or it shows taqwa in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lakana awlakum biha. In fact, the person who would have done that before you is Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. If mahar, high mahar, shows that your daughter is very good in this dunya, if high mahar shows that you have big taqwa, which person's children should have the biggest mahar? The children of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his wives radiyallahu anhunna. They should be the ones with the highest muhur. He says, Wallahi, ma asdaqa qabtun imra'atan min nisa'ihi wala banatihi fawqa snatay ashrata uqiyah. I swear by Allah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not give his daughter out, nor did he marry a woman with more than 12. You can call it uqiyah. You can also call it awqiyah. One awqiyah is 40 dirhams. Let's calculate it. One awqiyah is what? 40 dirhams. 200 dirhams. I will ask us math question now. 200 dirhams is equivalent to about 650,000 naira. 200 dirhams is the nisab for zakah for silver. It's about 650,000. 200 dirhams. So 1 dirham is how much? 200 dirham is 650,000 naira. So 1 dirham will be how much? Fast fingers. Now, 3,250 naira. Don't forget, 1 dirham is equal to 3,000. That is a silver coin. 3,000, how much? 250. So 1 uqiyah is 40 dirhams. So 12 uqiyah will be how much? 12 times 40. Now, 4. But you know, I said you have fast fingers. Time about 1.5 million. The Prophet did not give more than that. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anything below that, okay. What are you saying? I know some sisters who told their husbands they want a whole house. One sister said she wants Umrah. Calculate Umrah. It has passed 1.5 million. We have information. Some sisters ask more than this. But the wives of the Prophet, radiyallahu anhunna, and his daughters, no one was more than that, according to Umar, radiyallahu anhu. There is also the hadith of Aisha in Sunan Abi Dawud. In fact, she called it 12 and a half uqiyah. 12 and a half. There is no difference between the two. So around that, 5 million naira equivalent was what the Prophet gave for his wives and took regarding his daughter. Radiyallahu anhu. So don't make your own to be more than that. Umar was saying that to the people. Allah, la tughalu fi saduqatin nisa. Oh people, don't make the mahar to be difficult. In the Arab world now, it's far much more than that. Far much more than that. A man will be working for 2, 3, 4, 5 years trying to gather mahar. Umar was saying, don't do like that. Don't behave like that. فَإِنَّهَا لَوْ كَانَتْ مَكْرُمَةً فِي الدُّنْيَا. Because if high mahar showed big respect in this dunya, أَوْ تَقْوًا إِنْدَ اللَّهِ, or it showed that you are a big muttaqi in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَكَانَ أَوْلَاكُمْ بِهَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. The one who would have done that was Rasulullah, but he did not do it. So reduce your mahar. Don't make it be high. He now said, ما أصدق قط امرأة من نسائه ولا بناته فوق اثنتي عشرة أوقية. He did not give more than 12. Aisha said it was 12 and a half. Perhaps she's the one receiving it. So he will say maybe 12, around that. Radiyallahu anhu. So this was what happened. It was said that when Umar said this statement, up to this is sahih. Up to this is sahih. Up to this place is sahih. But there are riwayat da'ifa from here. They now say فَقَامَتْ إِمْرَأَةٌ فَقَالَتْ يَا Umar. They say one woman just stand up in the midst of the people, say, Umar, يُؤْتِينَ اللَّهُ وَتُحَرِّمُنَا. Should Allah give us and you are preventing us? أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى يَقُولُ وَآتَيْتُمْ إِحْدَاهُنَّ كِنْتَارًا. Did Allah not say that if you marry a woman and you gave her kintar? Kintar is a large size of gold. So when Allah said Allah gave a man married his wife with a large kintar, with a big size of gold, why are you now saying that we should not take something big? People say that a woman said this to Umar. This report to say that one woman stood up and told Umar, oh Umar, hey, Allah gave us and you are preventing us. This report, this riwayah like this is da'ifa. This riwayah like this is da'ifa. You see it in some books of tafsir. They mention it when they are explaining this verse in Surah An-Nisa. وَإِنْ أَرَدْتُمْ إِسْتِبْدَالَ زَوْجٍ مَكَانَ زَوْجٍ وَآتَيْتُمْ إِحْدَاهُنَّ قِنْطَارًا فَلَا تَأْخُذُوا مِنْهُ شَيْئًا أَتَأْخُذُونَهُ بُهْتَانًا وَإِثْمًا مُبِينًا. When they explain this verse, they mention it. So some scholars, when they put these asanid together, they said, Isnaduhu Jayyid, like Al-Hafiz ibn Kathir. But what is right and Allah knows best is that that woman did not stand up. Ma qamat imra'atun litarudda ala Umar ibn al-Khattab. No woman stood up to make radd on Umar. But because some scholars say it, that was what Ibn Rajab also mentioned here, rahimahullah. He wants to say that somebody can say something and make a mistake, that Umar too said something radiallahu anhu and made a mistake, a woman corrected him and he took the correction. You know, people always quote this statement. So it is true that Umar was criticizing high mahar, but it is not true that one woman stood up amongst the people to contradict Umar. I hope that it is clear. It is true that Umar was criticizing high mahar, but it is not true that a woman stood up to criticize Umar. To the extent that they now say that the woman said that Umar radiallahu anhu, after the woman refuted him, فَرَجَعَ عَنْ قَوْلِهِ, Umar now rejected and took back that statement he had made. And then he said, أَصَابَتْ إِمْرَأَةٌ وَرَجُلٌ أَخْطَأَ. A woman was right and a man was wrong. Some feminists to quote it. Some Muslim feminists, women, they say, see now, even Umar, a woman can tell Umar that Umar was wrong. No woman did that. And Umar was not wrong. Al-Imam Al-Albani rahimahullah, long ago, before Allah brought him to the entirety of the world, he used to write articles for majallat, for magazines. He has an article he wrote that criticizing this hadith and saying that that statement of Umar does not contradict this ayah. وَآتَيْتُمْ إِحْدَاهُنَّ كِنْتَارًا. That kintar, and you don't take back a woman you had given a kintar, a large part of gold, when you married her. You now divorced her. You now want to take back the mahar again. Don't do it like that. And Imam Al-Albani said, rahimahullah, it does not contradict this statement of Umar that لا تغالوا في صدق النساء. Don't be extreme. Don't go beyond limits regarding the mahar of a woman. He said it does not contradict that verse. That because even people will be asking for something beyond kintar, and that it mentioned kintar does not actually mean kintar. It was only saying that something big. When he said, it's like saying, have you seen me before? I say, I've seen you 1 million times. Okay, I now say, let's start counting how many times you have seen me before. I saw you yesterday. I saw you the day before. It's not up to 1 million. Is this, that 1 million times, is that what he means? What does he mean? It means that I have seen you many times. So وَآتَيْتُمْ إِحْدَاهُنَّ كِنْتَارًا means that you have given her something that is big. Umar is not saying, don't big that Allah said. Don't make it too big. Is it contradictory or reconciliatory? It is reconciliatory and not contradictory. We are just explaining the matter. But what Ibn Rajab wanted to use this for was that Umar radiallahu anhu gave a view, and a woman refuted that view with a verse of the Quran. And that Umar took back that view and said, أَصَابَتْ إِمْرَأَةٌ وَرَجُلٌ أَخْطَأَ. A woman was right and a man was wrong. In another riwayah it said that كُلُّ النَّاسِ أَفْقَهُ مِنْ Umar ibn al-Khattab. Every person has more fiqh than Umar. One of the scholars said that this is another evidence that it is a weak statement. How can everybody has a bigger fiqh than Umar ibn al-Khattab? How can everybody? So me now, I have bigger fiqh than Umar? Who will say that? Everybody has bigger fiqh. They say it is one of the evidences of nakara in the matin of this athar. So the athar is not sahih to say that a woman refuted Umar, but the athar is sahih to say that Umar ibn al-Khattab advised that people should be lenient regarding the mahar that they seek to receive about their daughters or about their sisters. Ibn Rajab went on and said, rahimahullah, وَكَانَ بَعْضُ الْمَشْهُورِينَ, one of the very eminent popular scholars, well known, إِذَا قَالَ فِي رَأْيِهِ بِشَيْءٍ, when he gave his opinion regarding any matter, يقول, he would say, هَذَا رَأْيُنَا, this is our own opinion. فَمَنْ جَاءَنَا بِرَأْيٍ أَحْسَنَ مِنْهُ قَبِلْنَاهُ. Anyone who comes to us with a view that is better than it, with an opinion that is stronger than it, with an evidence that is more balanced than it, قَبِلْنَاهُ. We will accept that opinion. What they are saying is that nobody thinks that his own opinion is all and good. If you have a stronger, bring it, we will take it. Why? إقامة للحجج الشرعية والأدلة المعتبرة. All that concerns us is إقامة الحجة الشرعية. We want to establish those evidences in the religion of Allah. وَالْأَدِلَّةِ الْمُعْتَبَرَةِ. We want to take those evidences. We want to work with them. Those evidences that are considerably sound. Those are the ones we want. وَكَانَ الشَّافِعِيُّ رَحِمَهُ اللَّهِ. Ibn Rajab went on and said that Al-Imam al-Shafi'i يُبَالِغُ فِي هَذَا الْمَعْنَى. He does this a lot. يُبَالِغُ فِي. He goes to extremes regarding this issue. What is that issue? Don't forget, whatever I say, that's my view. Another person can come with a stronger view, stronger evidence, stronger hadith. We will take it from you if you see it. So if you don't want to take our own view, bring better evidence. Bring hujjah, we will take it. He said, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i yubaligu fi hadha al-ma'na. He goes to great extents regarding this matter. وَيُوصِي أَصْحَابَهُ بِاتِّبَاعِ الْحَقِّ. He is always telling and emphasizing to his students, بِاتِّبَاعِ الْحَقِّ. Follow the truth, follow the truth, follow the truth. وَقَبُولِ السُّنَّةِ. He will always tell them, if you find a hadith, throw my own opinion away. If I said something, then you find one hadith contradicting it. I remember one of our learned people around us. He will always say that, and I give this as an example, because there's a clear-cut hadith that refutes that view. What is the view? The view that Salatu al-Duha is not something yuwazabu alayha, that somebody can be performing regularly. He said that long ago. But there's a clear-cut hadith that refutes it. The hadith of Abu Huraira in the Imām At-Tibyān fil Kabir. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, while talking about Salatu Duha, he said, La yuwazibu alayha illa al-awwabin. Nobody will be yuwazibu alayha. Nobody will continue to observe it. He said you should not observe it continuously. The hadith said that anybody who is observing it correctly and concurrently, continuously, is an awwab. A person who is regularly turning to Allah in repentance. That is a clear refutation of that view. So if this hadith reaches him, then he studies the hadith. And he knows that the hadith is also in At-Targhib wa At-Tarhib by Imām al-Munziri. He will stop saying it. This is what we are talking about. All the A'imma are like that. If they have a view, and you bring them with a stronger view, a hadith, in the last class we mentioned Imam Malik. He was describing wudu to the people, rahimahullah. And after the lessons, Abdullah ibn Wahab came to him, his student, and asked him about takhlilul asabi, putting the finger, the khinsar, in between the fingers of the feet when you make wudu. Ibn Wahab asked Malik. Malik said, Ma kulli fannasu bidhalik. The people have not been given the legal authority to do that. Laysa dhalika ala nas. The people don't have a duty to have to do that. Abdullah ibn Wahab said, Haddathana al-Layth. He began to give him the isnad. And Abdullah ibn Lahi'a, he mentioned the shuyukh, until he mentioned the hadith to the Prophet Muhammad. And then Imam Malik said, Hada hadithun hasanun. This hadith is sound. Ibn Wahab says, after that time, any time Malik was asked about it, he will say that there is takhlilul asabi in sunnah. He had a view. He said, no takhlilul asabi. They showed him hadith. He took takhlilul asabi. He took it as his view. Why? إقامة للحجج الشرعية والأدلة المعتبرة. All that concerns us is that we want that hadith to be used. We want the statements of Allah to be manifest. We want the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be the one that is followed. So if we have a view and someone brings a stronger view, don't forget, not just any view. Not just any view, it should be strong. We say that Salatul Tasbih is Sunnah. The hadith is Sahih. You say no, the hadith is not Sahih. Hey, don't say Awafaka. Prove that the hadith is Da'if. If you cannot prove that the hadith is Da'if, the matter is beyond taqleed. It is a matter of ittiba. Taqleed, the man is blind. He is just following. Ittiba, the man understands the proof and is proving it. So if we prove to you that the hadith is Sahih, don't say don't say that again. The matter is beyond taqleed. It is about ittiba now. If you cannot prove it, keep quiet. Tell them who asked you that you don't know. So Salatul Tasbih is Sunnah. The hadith is Sahih. So وكان الشافعي رحمه الله يبالغ في هذا المعنى. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i would go to large extremes regarding these issues. وَيُوصِي أَصْحَابَهُ بِاتِّبَاعِ الْحَقِّ. He will always encourage his companions, his students, to follow the truth. وَقَبُولِ السُّنَّةِ. And to accept ahadith that are authentic. إِذَا ظَهَرَتْ لَهُمْ عَلَى خِلَافِ قَوْلِهِمْ. When it becomes clear to them, even if those ahadith contradict their own opinions. Meaning that, we gave an example in some classes ago. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah himself, I will give this example regarding him. وَهُوَ مِنْ أَحَبِّ النَّاسِ إِلَيْنَا. If you ask me, amongst all the ai of the madhahib, which one do I like best? I like all of them best. But from the best, the one that I like again, inside the best of the best, that all of them are to me, was Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi. I like Shafi so much. So much. Rahimahullah. There's no way you read about al-Shafi, Muhammad ibn Idris, Rahimahullah, Abu Abdullah, that you not like him. He was very learned. Imam Shafi was very learned. And he was upon the Sunnah rahimahullah till he passed away. Da'aka min kalamin nas. Forget about what some people are saying by the corner. Shafi was very learned rahimahullah. Our Imam. Yet, he has a view, we will not take the view because he's our Imam. He has a view that if you come to the Eid on the day of Eid, you should make 2 units of prayer before the Imam came. The scholars say, hey, there is a hadith of Ibn Umar and Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhum, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will come to the Eid on the day of Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr. And he will not observe any salah. La yatanaffalu bi shay'in. He will not make any nafila. He will just go and start salah. Do you know the reply of Shafi'i rahimahullah? He said that is because the Prophet was the Imam. Is that a response or not? The Prophet was the Imam. So you need to say another thing. The Prophet was truly the Imam. And the ruling of the Imam in this matter is that when the Imam comes, he leads Salah. So how do you now prove to that person who gives you that answer that that is the same ruling for the Ma'mum apart from the Imam? Shafi said the reason Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar reported what they reported was that the Prophet is the Imam. So if the Imam comes, he should just stand up, lead Salah. Just come, drop from his mount or from his car, go to the Musalla, observe the Salah and go. He said because that's the Imam. So how do you prove from that hadith of Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar that that is the same ruling that covers those who are not the Imam on the day of Eid, what do you say? You need another evidence. You need a murajjih. You need something to prove that your understanding is stronger. So the scholars say, okay, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Umar, and some others amongst the companions, when they came to the Eid, they don't make nafila. If they saw anybody making nafila, they stopped him. Both Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar. And they are the ones who reported that the Prophet ﷺ came to the Eid and then he led the salah without making nafila. That means they were witnesses. They understood what the Prophet came to do. They understood the ruling as it concerns the rest of the Jama'ah. And that's what they did after the Prophet. فَالرَّاوِي أَدْرَى بِمَا رَوَى. The one who reported the hadith, أَدْرَى أَعْلَمُ. He knows best what he has reported. So the view of Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar, who both reported that hadith, is stronger than the understanding of Al-Imam Shaykh. Have we added an evidence or not? Have we added something? What did we add? موقف الصحابة, رأي الراوي, مذهب الراوي, فنرجح به. We use it to say no, we will not take the view of Shafi'i and leave aside the view of Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar, who were the ones who reported that the Prophet used to do like this, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They know it more than Shafi'i. So those of us who like Shafi'i, rahimahullah, now say, but we like our Imam. Leave that one aside. Take the view of Abdullah ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar, and which explains the action of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. So that's why I know our Shaykh, he didn't Shafi'i just said a view that was unacceptable, and that was shown by another evidence that it is a weak view. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i kana yubalighu fi hadha al-ma'na. He will always say this to his jama'ah. وَيُوصِي أَصْحَابَهُ بِاتِّبَاعِ الْحَقِّ. He was always telling his students to follow the truth. وَقَبُولِ السُّنَّةِ. And to accept the ahadith إِذَا ظَهَرَتْ لَهُمْ عَلَى خِلَافِ قَوْلِهِمْ. If those ahadith become clear to them to be contradicting something that he had said, rahimahullah. وَأَنْ يُضْرَبَ بِقَوْلِهِ حِينَئِذٍ الْحَائِطِ. He said to them that أَنْ يُضْرَبَ بِقَوْلِهِ. They should take that his own view. They should stone it to the walls. أَنْ يُضْرَبَ بِقَوْلِهِ حِينَئِذٍ. At the time when they find a hadith that is sahih, that contradicts what he has said, he told them, take my opinion, stone it on the wall. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ فِي كُتُبِهِ. He will always say in his books, rahimahullah, لا بد أن يوجد فيها ما يخالف الكتاب والسنة. It is always most probable that you will always find in this my book something that contradicts the Quran and the Sunnah. Maybe you are reading one verse, you see that I have said something that is wrong. Maybe I didn't understand. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe. He said لأن الله تعالى يقول ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا. Allah had said if this Quran had come from other than Allah, you would have found differences in it. So if you find me saying something regarding a matter and you find a verse of the Quran that contradicts my view, maybe I didn't understand, maybe I didn't even think about it, maybe my mind did not go there. Ikhwa, wallahi, many times you ask us a question, we know what the answer is, but the time you are asking us, our mind will not go to another hadith that contradicts a view that we will take. We are not remembering everything in the same way every day, every time. Yesterday, one of our very, very, very good brothers, Hafizahullah, day before yesterday, he was reading a book. He came across a hadith, and he was going to give a talk about the hadith. One of the scholars said that the hadith is weak in the takhrij of that book. The same person said that it is Hasanul li ghayrihi in another book. So how does he justify? I said, or wahima. Maybe he made mistake. Or that's the human beings. He erred. I just went once, I think he made a mistake. I sat down, I studied the hadith myself, and we were discussing it. I said, I think he made a mistake. We also took the works of other scholars like Al-Hafiz in Nata'ij al-Afkar. We looked at the works of Shaykh Hamdi Abdul Majid al-Salafi and others. Shaykh Shuaib al-Arnaut. He said, I think the Shaykh erred. He made a mistake. The point there is nobody is beyond these mistakes. So Shafi'i always told his students, if you find that I have said something, and you find a hadith that contradicts what I have said, throw my own opinion, throw it away. If you go to the Muqaddimah of Sifat Salat al-Nabi by Al-Imam Al-Albani rahimahullah, he made a mention of a number of these kinds of statements from Al-Imam Shafi. He mentioned 9. If you go to the Muqaddimah of Sifat Salah, was why I came with Sifat Salah. And Imam Al-Albani mentioned 9. I hope that one day one of our brothers will teach the people the Muqaddimah of Sifat Salat Nabi. Ikhwa, did you get what I said? This book, Sifat Salat Nabi, the Muqaddimah of it. I hope that one day one of our brothers will pay attention to explain it to us. It will be a big guide for a lot of people upon the Sunnah. Wallah, it was from one of the things from which Allah gave us guidance upon Sunnah. This book you are saying, Muqaddimah Sifat Salat Nabi, relationship with it, don't you go? This Sifat Salat Nabi that you are saying is a blessed book by Allah. The first of it, we know that is that he said, rahimahullah, before me, no scholar wrote a book completely about Salat alone, from Takbir to Taslim. I'm the first person who did it. To select Salat and describe it from Takbir to Taslim. I did not see any scholar who did that. Who is saying that? And Imam Al-Albani rahimahullah. Does he have a right to say that? He has multiple rights. How do we know? This was a man who read an entire library A to Z. He spent 35 years studying the whole library. Al-Maktabat al-Zahiriyah. He even wrote books about the book you will find in that library. He said, I read everything in that library, page by page. He said, even the books, in libraries, some books, the pages would have cut off. They go and put them in dustbin. I sat down with the dustbin. Rahimahullah, I was picking it one by one. I was reading everything. Ikhwa, he said, I read it the first time, the whole library. Me, I have not heard it in the recent history of mankind. One man who read the whole of a library. Not small library, Al-Maktabat al-Zahiriyah, right from the time of Al-Imam al-Zahabi. When an Imam died in Dimashq, they packed his book to that library. Right from al-Zahabi down. When a scholar died, his books, they donated to the library. How many books do you think are there? He said, I read everything A to Z. Ikhwa, not once. He did the first reading, rahimahullah. He did the second reading, rahimahullah. He read it the third time. He read the whole of a library 3 times. He said, وَهَذَا الَّذِي جَعَلَنِي أَلْبَانِيًّا into Somidi Albanini. What does that mean? He has a book he wrote for himself alone in 50 volumes. He prohibited that it should be published. The things he found out in Al-Maktabat al-Zahiriyah, he wrote it 50 volumes. He said, don't publish it, it's my personal work for myself. He has other works he wrote about that library. 50 volumes he wrote for himself, not to be published. He read the entirety of the library. He is the one who said that before me nobody wrote a book on Salat. He has a right to say it or not. He has a right? Rahimahullah. So in the Muqaddimah of Sifatu Salat in Nabi, I encourage, I beg us, I hope that one of our brothers will pick that Muqaddimah and teach to the people. It has a lot of fawaid. From the benefits inside it were these statements of Al-Imam Shafi, Rahimahullah Muhammad ibn Idris. In one of them he says, مَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا وَتَذْهَبُ عَلَيْهِ سُنَّةٌ لِرَسُولِ اللَّهِ مَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا وَتَذْهَبُ عَلَيْهِ سُنَّةٌ لِرَسُولِ اللَّهِ. There is no one except that تَذْهَبُ عَلَيْهِ سُنَّةٌ لِرَسُولِ اللَّهِ alayhi salatu wasalam, except that there is a sunnah of the Prophet that will be of him. وَتَعْزُبُ عَنْهُ, it will be unknown to him, it will be hidden from him. That's why Allah says, لَا يَعْزُبُ عَنْهُ مِثْقَالُ ذَرَّةٍ. It says, وَتَعْزُبُ عَنْهُ. There is no one of us except that there is a sunnah تَعْزُبُ عَنْهُ, that is hidden from him. He said, Rahimahullah, فَمَهْمَا قُلْتُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ. So no matter how much I give a statement, أو أَصَّلْتُ مِنْ أَصْلٍ, or I give a foundational ruling about a matter, فِيهِ عَنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمْ خِلَافُ مَا قُلْتُ. And then you find a hadith from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, khilafu ma qultu, different from what I have said. فَالْقَوْلُ مَا قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ alayhi salatu wasalam. The view that is correct is the view that the Prophet, the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَهُوَ قَوْلِي, and that is my own view too. My view is, if tomorrow you find a view, you find a statement from the Prophet about anything that I have said, I have already taken it. That is my وَهُوَ قَوْلِي أَنَا. That is my own view too, Rahimahullah. He has another statement like that, Rahimahullah. He says, أَجْمَعَ الْمُسْلِمُونَ. The Muslims, the scholars, those whose views matter, عَلَى أَنَّ مَنِ اسْتَبَانَ لَهُ سُنَّةٌ عَنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. That anyone that a sunnah, a hadith becomes clear to him from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, lam yaha liqawli ahadin. It is not lawful for him to abandon that sunnah liqawli ahadin, because of the statement of anybody. We say salatul duha. The Prophet says anybody who is continuous upon it is from the awwabun. You come and say our own Shaykh said that. Your own Shaykh said what? Nobody should say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. It says, أجمع المسلمون على أن من استبان له سنة عن رسول الله لم يحل له أن يدعها لقول أحد. He said again, رحمه الله, إذا وجدتم في كتابي خلاف سنة رسول الله. If you find in my book something different, contradicting the sunnah, فَقُولُوا بِسُنَّةِ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ alayhi salatu wasalam. Take to the sunnah. The view you should take is the view of the sunnah. وَدَعُوا مَا قُلْتُ. Leave what I have said. Take hadith. Another one, he said, rahimahullah, إِذَا صَحَّ الْحَدِيث فَهُوَ مَذْهَبِي. As long as the hadith is sahih, I already took that opinion. There are a lot of them in this book. Let me say one of them. It will scare us. Number 7. In the Muqaddimah of Sifat Salat Nabi, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i was cited to have said, and this statement, Al-Imam al-Albani rahimahullah, he referenced it to, he said, Rawahu ibn Abi Hatim fi Adab al-Shafi. It was reported by Imam ibn Abi Hatim in Adab al-Shafi wa Abu al-Qasim al-Samarqandi fi al-Amali And Abu al-Qasim al-Samarqandi in his book Al-Amali, Kama fil Muntaqa Minha, as it is in the book that was drawn from Al-Amali by Abu Hafs al-Mu'addib, is also mentioned by Imam Ibn Asakir, and likewise by Imam Abu Nu'aym in Hilyatul Awliya. What did Imam Shafi'i say, rahimahullah? إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُونِي أَقُولُ قَوْلًا, if you see me taking a position, وَقَدْ صَحَّ عَنِ النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ خِلَافُهُ, and there is a statement from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam that is sahih, that's contradicting what I had taken as a view, فَعَلَمُوا أَنَّ أَقْلِي قَدْ ذَهَبَ فَعَلَمُوا أَنَّ أَقْلِي قَدْ ذَهَبَ. Shafi'i said so. إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُونِي أَقُولُ قَوْلًا, if you see me taking a view, taking an opinion, وَقَدْ صَحَّ عَنِ النَّبِيِّ خِلَافُهُ, and something contradicting that has been reported from the Prophet and it is sahih, taking another position, فَعَلَمُوا, I think what you should understand is that أَنَّ عَقْلِي قَدْ ذَهَبَ, my brain has gone away from me. My mind, I'm off my mind. My mind is off me. My attention is, maybe I'm not paying attention that time. Otherwise, how will a hadith be sahih from the Prophet Muhammad alayhi? I will now say something different. I would like to go to a matter regarding this. That is why you always see people say, Al-Imam Al-Albani has some views that it doesn't change. You know why? صح الحديث عنده, because the hadith is sahih. He is a scholar of hadith. So after the trouble, whether this isnad is sahih, is this mutaba'at shawahid, فانتهى إلى أن الحديث صحيح, and then he ends to say this hadith is sahih. لا يتركه لقول أحد كائن من كان. He will not leave that view for the view of anybody. Why? لما صح إنه من كلام النبي. Because this hadith in my is sahih. That's why we are saying many views we have. Fasting on Saturdays for somebody who is not fasting a compulsory fast. Our own suffering is that this hadith is sahih. Once it is sahih, you start telling us that some scholars did not take it. I say, hey, come. They did not take what? Some scholars did not take what? They don't take hadith sahih. So I will leave a hadith that is clear to me to be sahih, because of some scholars. Or لا اعتكاف إلا في المساجد الثلاثة. There is no itikaf except in those three masajids. Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabawi, and what? Masjid al-Aqsa. The hadith is sahih. You want him to leave this hadith that is sahih for one view pay and one afaka? Mazhab al-Jumhur. Are you Jumhuri? Or you are Sunni? So if the hadith is sahih, فَلَا كَلَامٍ لَا كَلَامٍ, unless there's an i'tirad from another hadith on sahih. Unless we have another hadith that is sahih, then you start talking about al-jam'u bayna al-hadithayn, zahiruhuma at-ta'arud. Those two hadiths, this one is sahih, this one is sahih, and it appears that that's why they say zahiruhuma. Because when you come really in the reality of the hadith, you will see that they are not contradictory. It's just like what we just read about Umar. Umar is saying don't go to extremes about Maha. Somebody comes to say, well, I must say, no, there is no contradiction there. He's just advising that don't make it too high. And what the verse says is that you would have given a woman something that is high. He is saying, be careful about that highness. So there is no contradiction inside it. So if there's another hadith on Sahih, the first thing you do is al-jamu bayn al-hadithayn. You try to connect between the two hadiths. Biduni ta'assufin. Without leaving aside any part of the two hadiths, you connect the two. Like we have connected that statement of Umar with that verse of the Quran. You connect the two. You now see the relationship between the two. Or that you make a bahas. Is there an-naskhu? Is there a hadith? One of them came first, then the other one came after. So that the one that came after is the nasikhu, and the one that came earlier is what? Mansukh. But this one is based on something. An-naskhu mabniyun ala dalil at-tarikh. An-naskhu mabniyun ala dalil at-tarikh. There must be evidence in history about which one came first, which one came later. In Mecca before Hijrah, he did like this. In Medina after Hijrah, he did like this. So you know that that statement about Medina will take effect. It will be the Nāsir. The one he did when he was in Mecca will be what? Mansukh. Like that. So there will be Dalil Tarikh. There will be evidence from history that shows that one came before the other. وَالنَّسْخُ لَا يَثْبُتُ بِالْإِحْتِمَالِ. And naskhu, to say something is abrogated or not, it's la yasbut. It cannot be proven and established bil ihtimal, to say most probably, there is no probably, there must be what? Dalilu tarikh. If you can't find dalilu tarikh, yakunu al-bahsu fi at-tarjih. The ulama now have murajjihat. Al-Hafiz al-Iraqi in At-Taqid wal-Idah, he mentioned more than 100 murajjihat. What is murajjihat? Those things that you can use to say that one evidence is stronger than another. Like we were explaining about Salatul Eid and making nafila at the Eid. We brought a statement from Shafi. We used the statement from the companions to make a murajjih, to make tarjih. So ikhwa, that is why knowledge is very wide. And this is where the scholars are struggling. One hadith says this, the other one says this. And the two of them are authentic. It appears somehow contradictory. They are not contradictory. The first thing you do is make jamu bayna al-hadithain. Ikhwa, the scholars have done that. Long ago, Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Qutayba, he has an entire book on this, Ta'wil Mukhtalif al-Hadith. Muhammad ibn Qutayba was from the 3rd century of Islam, long ago. After him, Al-Imam Al-Tahawi Abu Ja'far, Sahib al-Aqeedah, he has a book on that. Mushkil al-Athar is there, it's around that too. Then he has, what is that? He has Sharh Ma'ani al-Athar. Sharh Ma'ani al-Athar occurs in about 13 volumes. Al-Imam Badruddin al-Aini came, he now did the Sharh of Sharh Ma'ani al-Athar. That one occurs in 33 volumes. The Sharh of Sharh Ma'ani al-Athar by Badruddin al-Aini. There are a lot of things to study. Ya Mahmoud. And the journey is long. That's why the one who is sensible and reasonable, he starts the journey very early. Wallahi, children, they are lucky. You start very early, you learn Arabiya, you learn all these usul al-fiqh, mustalah al-hadith. They are the instruments to be understanding those matters. Anybody who does not know these things cannot go into these matters. He does not know Arabiya, no Nahu, no Sarf, no Balagha. He does not know Ulum al-Quran. He does not know Usul al-Hadith. He does not know Usul al-Fiqh. He has not studied Aqidah. How can he jump into this? Like somebody swimming in swimming pool in his house. He thought that he has known how to swim. He now went to jump into an ocean. What is he looking for? He's swimming in their house. When we were younger than this, I don't know whether you played that play. Our mothers used to have big basins like this. They wash clothes. We used to put water in it. We will now be inside the basin. Did you play that play? Abu Abdullah, Agbaburanio. We used to play like that. Or if you have the basin, the, what do you call it in the bathroom? Bathtub. You fill it with water. Muhammad, you would have been doing that, go. You fill the bathtub with water. And then you'll be doing what? You'll be swimming inside it like this. In fact, some boys can still open the shower. As they are in the bathtub, the shower is also pouring on them. They are enjoying themselves. After all these warmth, you come out and say you want to jump into a river. Is that not a rough play? So that's why al-ilmu tabaqat wa darajat. Knowledge is about what? Level from one level to the other. If you perfect the basic level, the upper levels will be easier for you. If you don't perfect the basic levels, the upper levels will be difficult. So all these things we are talking about, there's one hadith, there's another hadith, scholars have been resolving them. In fact, Imām Muhammad ibn Khuzaymah, he said any hadith you read, you think that there is one authentic hadith, this one authentic hadith, they appear to be contradicting themselves. Bring them to me, I will explain them to you. Ibn Khuzaymah rahimahullah. And that's why if you go back to Sahih ibn Khuzaymah, you find this thing common in it. In his Tarajim of Abwab, he is explaining to a hadith, say this hadith is like this, but they are not contradicting. This is the meaning of this, this is the meaning of this. Ibn Khuzaymah was known with that. He was an Imam in Ilmu Mukhtalif al-Hadith. Recently, one of the scholars was doing a master's thesis. He did Mukhtalif al-Hadith in al-Hafiz ibn Abdul Barri fi kitabihi At-Tamhid. He went into At-Tamhid. At-Tamhid is a sharh of Muwatta by Al-Hafiz ibn Abdul Barr. So this person went into At-Tamhid to remove issues of Mukhtalif al-Hadith inside At-Tamhid in 2 big volumes. I have it. Very nice to read. Very nice to read. So Ikhwa scholars have done this job. What remains for us is to study them and make benefit with them. So if you don't have hadith comes having almost similar ruling with a hadith, every hadith is hujjah fil bab. Every hadith is hujjah fil bab. Once you hear a hadith, draw that view of your Shaykh. Drop it. Know that that view is a weak view. Why? There's a hadith that shows otherwise. There's a hadith that shows otherwise. Unless you say the hadith is not sahih, then another argument and discussion will start. Is the hadith sahih or not? We can sit down with that and discuss that one too. When we are able to conclude whether the hadith is sahih or not, it will help about the fiqh of the hadith. Don't go about suffering, studying fiqh hadith without studying the sanad of the hadith, whether the hadith is sahih or not. You can be trying to resolve a hadith. You came to find out that all your suffering, the hadith is da'if. The hadith is da'if. Why are you disturbing yourself? It's da'if. La yustadallu bid da'if. Mutlaqan. Da'if, there is no working with da'if. Just da'if, because it is da'if. So that's why this science, wallah, is very important. The science of hadith, ilmul hadith, is very important. It is what will make you be able to make tahqiq. This one is right, this one is not right. And you can stand there. I would have cited an incident with one of the brothers who just wrote a book recently. The book just got to me yesterday. And I said, subhanAllah, when I read it, say, the reason why this book is like this is that this person is weak in the science of hadith. All the loga inside, all the share inside, there is no tahqiqat hadithiyah inside. So the book will just be like what? It can be kicked away by no tahqiq inside. Because the person doesn't understand ilmul hadith. If you understand ilmul hadith, why will you say Al-Barbahari was a student of Ibn al-Mubarak? How? بينهما مفاويز. بين ابن المبارك والبربهاري مفاويز تنقطع بها أعناق العبد. the necks of the camels will break if they want to drive that journey. The journey between Ibn al-Mubarak and Al-Barbahari. But the person is weak in ilm al-hadith. تلميذ ابن المبارك هو البربهاري تلميذه كيف I remember somebody was insulting Al-Imam Al-Albani one day, long ago. He is an Imam on a mimbar who makes khutbah on the days of Jummah. He wanted to insult Al-Imam Al-Albani. Wallahi, Allah insulted him. You know what he was saying? He said that statement of Albani, that Albani is quoting Ibn Abbas, Albani is quoting Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Abbas has already said that Ibn Taymiyyah was wrong. On the day of Jummah, he almost spoiled our Jummah. He said Albani was quoting Ibn Taymiyyah. And Ibn Abbas had already said that Ibn Taymiyyah was wrong. Shabab, Kef. Ibn Abbas said that Ibn Taymiyyah was wrong. Wallahi, that Jummah, we went back to I was an undergraduate at the time. Say, he wanted to insult Al-Imam Al-Albani. Allah threw the insult on him. فَأَرَادُوا بِهِ كَيْدًا فَجَعَلْنَاهُمُ الْأَسْفَلِينَ. Allah does that to people of Sunnah a lot. أَرَادُوا بِهِ كَيْدًا. They say Ibn Abbas told Ibn Taymiyyah. Where did Ibn Abbas live? I think we can stop here today, inshallah. And it's appearing to me that this will be our last class until Hajj. May Allah take us for Hajj. May Allah take us for Hajj. Say Ameen. May Allah take us for Hajj. It is Allah who takes whom He wills. Yesterday in the night, a brother was telling me, a very learned person, Hafizahullah, in the night in the house. He said, he called one of his friends, are you going for Hajj? The money is expensive. This year is, the minimum is 8 million. Minimum. 8 million. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million. So it's very expensive. He said he called the brother. Say, that's Hajj, the way we describe. Will you be able to go? The brother said, Inshallah. In fact, I'm going with my wife, not me. He said, he called somebody who is going with his wife. He said, Abu Nāsir, I said, that is 16 million. Only for transport. It's not talking about money to buy some food to, take care of yourself during the journey. 16 million. I now said to him that Allah takes to Hajj whomever He wills, at the time that He wills. He said, he asked the brother, how did you get that money? He said, the brother said to him, Ustaz, I'm contributing the money there. So the one that he had contributed as extra money happened to become the money that he will now need when the money rose. So anytime Allah wants to take you, He will take you. And there are no people who went who didn't even know anything. They don't even have one kobo. I always remember the story of a brother said this story to me. That in Sokoto, a man was coming from his farm in the village. And his bike, the bike that he was riding, the tire became punctured. What will he do? And night was coming, so he was pushing the bike, trying to walk out of the village. The nearest filling station, he thought that he would find a vulcanizer. He got there, he did not find the vulcanizer. He was feeling very bad. What kind of trouble is this? This is night coming. So one man was coming to the filling station. That is the owner of the filling station. He was driving in a car. He came and say, hey, what are you looking for here? I say, it is this my bike. The tire got punctured. I'm looking for somebody to help me repair it. I even thought that in this filling station I'll find somebody, but I didn't find. He said, that's all what he said, that is what I want. I hope that Allah will help me. The man said, and Allah has helped you. Have you gone for Hajj before? Say, I've never gone for Hajj. They gave me a free seat for Hajj, but I will give you. Ikhwa, did you hear what I said? That man was pushing bike, looking for somebody to repair his bike, the tire that is punctured. The filling station, he thought he got there, nobody to help him. The owner of the filling station came and said, me, they just phoned me that I should come for Hajj, but I will not be able to go. I should give you. Will you go? He said, I'm already gone. When that tire of the bike got punctured, what will he think? But it's got punctured. لِيَقْضِيَ اللَّهُ أَمْرًا كَانَ مَفْعُولًا. These kind of stories are many for us. Last week I met a brother, that's his job. He takes people for Hajj. He reminded me, I know the people he was talking about, but I didn't know that was how they came for Hajj. There is a masjid in their community, very bad masjid. Somebody came to that community. He prayed in that masjid. Said, why is this masjid like this? Say, we don't have money to repair. Say, don't worry, I'll give you money to repair it. So they gave them the money. They repaired the masjid. The man went away. They don't know him before. So someone came and said, who gave it? Say, so man. They described him. I know him. He said, let's go and greet him. So the two of them, the Imam of the masjid and the other brother said, let me follow you, Imam. If you are following people, follow them to do good. Oh. The man said, let me follow you, sir. So the Imam and the brother went to greet the person who gave them money to repair the masjid. That brother said they now met him with the man. They were discussing those who will go for Hajj. The list who will go for Hajj with that company. It's a VIP company. Oh. VIP. This year their Hajj is not less than 12 or 13 million. This year. So as they were discussing, they came to the stage, they knocked. Who is that? Imam of so enter. The man said they should enter. They sat down. We came to thank you for helping us to repair our masjid. They said, Alhamdulillah, mashallah. He brought them drinks, they drank. So they started discussing with the other man who came to take the list of those who were going for Hajj. So the man just turned and said, Imam, have you gone to Hajj before? I said, I have never gone to. Put his name. How about you who follow Imam? Say, me too, I never got. Put his name. That was how the man who followed Imam to where? So who takes people for Hajj? Allah. One of our teachers in Kanu, in his own case, he followed Hujjaj to the airport. The last batch. That time it was Cabo. He followed them to the airport. He's a Hajj guy, but that year he was not going for Hajj. They did not enlist him. But you know, Ikhwa, we have one thing. Wallahi. وَمَا يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ. In his mind he wants to go, but that year, no, he can't go. No money, something, excuses. So whenever he's going to the airport, he has his passport in his pocket. Me too, I always behave like that too. If you see me in Lagos, my passport is not far from me. So he went to the airport to discuss with the Hujjaj, bid them farewell, and all that. At the airport, I think one of the directors of Cabo or something, he just saw him. Everybody had entered the plane. He remains the director to go and enter and go. Say, doctor, you are not going for Hajj? Say, Allah didn't permit this year. Allah didn't permit. Say, yes. Do you want to go? Say, yes. You have your passport with you? Say, yes. Oh, yeah, enter. Let's go. Oh, yeah, in Saudi. That's how doctor went to Saudi. He's a very learned person. If I mention his name, all of us will know him. That year, that's how he got to Mecca. From airport to Mecca. What will he do to the house? Hey, Umu. Eti imelo. as I thought I'm speaking from gender. Wallah, many brothers went to Hajj like this. I have many narrations like this. So my own conclusion is that it is not money. When the time comes for you, wallahi, Allah will take you, whether you have money or not. My own first Hajj, till today, I don't know how it happened. I was in Kaduna. The brother who called me is dead now. May Allah forgive him. He just called me, Abu Nāsir, where are you? I said, I'm in Kaduna. I said, will you go for Hajj? I said, stop this play now. Because he plays with me. He's elderly. He's dead. That is Mudassir Ni Sanut. May Allah forgive him. He said, Abu Nāsir, yes, I play a lot, but I've never played this play with you. So I said, you have started the play today. Because it was short. Very near the time that Hujjaj were going. So I think I don't think I will go this year. My passport was not with me. I was in Kaduna. My family was in Oshobo. That time I used to shuttle between Kaduna and Oshobo. 1 month Kaduna, 1 month Oshobo. So he called me, say, where I am in Kaduna. I have a class now, I'm going. Say, wait, before you go. Where is your passport? I said, it's in Oshobo. He said, send it to the office tomorrow morning. I said, Brani, are you serious? He said, Wallah, I'm serious. I just off the phone. Look at Abu Ahmad Baba Lashaw. Ask him. He knows this story. I called him to go to our house to go and collect my passport. He was the one who took the passport to the airport to those who are doing visa at that time to press the visa on it, this, that process. Abu Ahmad, look at him behind him there. Hafizahullah wa jazahullah khaira. Ikhwa, do good. If it was evil, that is how I will remember and I will be saying it today. What I'm saying now is about 20 years ago. After that one, I have gone almost 17 or 18 times after. But the first one, that is Hajjul Islam. It is superior to all others. Because it is wajib, all others are what? Mustahabbat, mandubat. Abu Ahmad went to our house, he took the passport to the airport. You know, they just called me, Abu Nāsir, so day you are flying to Hajj. I could not sleep that night. I said, me, Hajj? Me, Hajj? You know, I don't know what to do. Whether I should stand up or I should sit down or I should lie down. You are going for Hajj. So the first thing that came to my mind, I started gathering the books. That's why Imam Al-Albani, we cannot stop saying Rahimahullah to him. It will not end. I gathered Sifatu Hajjat al-Nabi, Imam Al-Albani, Manasikul Hajj, Imam Al-Albani. We started studying it because it's now a matter of knowledge. Because if knowing the rulings of Hajj was not compulsory on me, when I'm going for Hajj, it becomes compulsory. The scholars say, إذا وجب العمل بشيء فالعلم به واجب. When a deed becomes compulsory on you, the knowledge of it becomes what? Compulsory. So we started studying. The day of the Hajj, a day before I was in Lagos. The day of the flight, a day before I was in Lagos. There's the next surprise. I got to the airport. A brother came to me. Salaam alaikum, sir. Abu Nas, I said, yes, sir. Wallah, I brought one brown envelope. When he gave me that brown envelope, I knew that it was money that I would spend. But the problem was, before I got to the airport, I did not have any money. I was just thinking that the one who called me to go for Hajj, he will give me the money that I will spend when I got to Hajj. Wallahi, that was my thing. I did not have money. That time, no money. When I opened that, I think that was $600 or $700. Big money. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know whether I should say Alhamdulillah or Allahu Akbar or La Hawla wa La Quwwata. I didn't know. I was just shedding tears. So the brother saw me. He knew what has happened to me. He drew him to himself. He said that was what Allah has written for you. Many people went to Hajj like this. These kind of narrations are many. So that's why the verse that I will stop is what Allah said to us in the Quran. For all those of us who want to go, whether we have gone before or we still want, we are just going for the first time. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. The person that you should depend on for all your affairs is who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If truly you believe in Allah, wallahi, depend on Him. And be making dua, don't lose hope. When the time comes, you will go free. Easily you will go. If you are the one who will remove money from your pocket to pay, He will put that money in your pocket. He will bring something, you will do, money will just come. Somebody will just call you from Egypt and say, oh, we have a container of books to send to you, Abu Abdur-Rahman. We want to send it to Darul Athariya to sell for us. You say, how much will I say? No, don't send any money. Don't worry, when you finish selling it, we'll collect the money. You go, they send you the list. You go and check the list with the prices. The books are costing almost 80 million. You say, Makati day. And the books arrived. The books arrived. You just call them in Kano, these that they came from Kano, they came from Lagos, they just packed the books and they were paying you money. And it is time for Hajj. Ya Abu Abdur-Rahman, what will you do? All these things that we are talking about, they are small from the things that Allah has done for His servants. So I think this will be our class before we return from Hajj. We beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take all of us for Hajj. Those who have gone, those who have not gone. You don't get tired of going for Hajj. Some people are just talking, and the money of, okay now. Someone say, come and go for Hajj. You now say, no, give me the money. Kinyo? What are you? Afa, oh yeah, bismillah. Go for Hajj. Say, no, bring the money. It's either you don't know what you are doing or you don't know what you are saying. Or you didn't know what they told you. I say, I'm telling you the facts. You don't know what you are saying. First, Afa, bismillah, Hajj, take. He say, no, give me the money. Do you know that money will not come? You know why? That money is money that is billed for Hajj. It's not a money for business. It is likely if you do business with it, that business will not succeed. Why? It is Malullah. It is Allah's money meant for Hajj. So if it is meant truly for Hajj, it will be for Hajj. So may Allah forgive all of us. And those of us who will be at home, may Allah accept our ibadat. We have the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, ikhwa. The reasonable one amongst us is the one who is able to make maximum use of the time. First 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Fast all the 10 days. Except if there is a Saturday, don't fast. Because the Prophet ﷺ prohibited us from fasting on Saturday if that fasting is not a compulsory fast. So fast all the days of Dhul Hijjah. The first 10 days. Fast them. The first 10 days. Fast them. Make dua. Make adhkar. Hope for goodness with Allah. No best days like those days. Make your time well. Make sadaqat. Make nawafil. Make tilawatul Quran. 10 days is good enough for you to complete the Quran 3 times. 3 days. Shabab. 3 days. In fact, you can be like Ash-Shafi'i rahimahullah. One full Quran during daytime from Fajr to Maghrib. From Maghrib to the next Fajr, another Quran. So the first 10 days, how many will you finish? 20 khatamat. When you are reading the one in the night, some of them will be while you are observing Qiyamul Layl. So fill up with ibadat. Fill up with good intention. Do good. Fastabiqul khairat. Make good efforts, compete with others. Do good too. May Allah accept all these acts of worship from us and forgive all of us and protect all of us. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان. اللهم اجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها ومولاها. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا. اللهم متعنا بأسمائنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا ما بقيتنا، واجعلها الوارث منا، واجعل ثارنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا. اللهم انصرنا على من عادانا، اللهم انصرنا على من عادانا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يرحمنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.